Game started.
Moet Chandon from Argentina. E4. Let's see. What have I played recently? Is black. Scandinavian, a Sicilian. How about a French? Okay. Going into the normal lines. See what we get. The Tarrasch with knight d2, or the classical or Winauer with knight c3. Okay, he's pausing to think. He takes the exchange French. Usually considered a pretty dull line and not promising much for white. Not promising an advantage for white. But white still has an extra move. It's a symmetric position and it's white's turn. Yeah, so if I develop my knight here, he can pin it. And if he does, I will play bishop to e7. I might play that anyway, just so I can castle. And if I play bishop to d6, and he plays a bishop
Check.
here, okay, he goes right for the check. So that kind of forces bishop e7, which I might have played anyway. I just like to be able to castle, and if I go bishop d6 and he pins the knight, I'll probably end up coming back with the bishop anyway. Because that pin, eventually you want to be able to move your queen without messing up your pawns on the king side. So now I can play rook e8 and threaten to win his queen due to this pin, this nice pin. So let's see how he reacts to that. Of course, it doesn't. He can always block with the bishop, so I exaggerated when I said win. But now, his bishop is pinned there, right? So I could attack it in some way, perhaps. For example, c5, pawn takes, d5, bishop takes, c5, pawn takes, d4, bishop takes, and then I move my bishop here, attacking his queen. He retreats his bishop. I take it, and I just mess up a pawn. I don't actually win any material. Still c5, he takes, I take. I can take with the bishop here, taking advantage of the pin that way. And then maybe I'm threatening d4, d5 to d4. So dc, bishop takes c5. That's what I'm thinking. Of course, he doesn't have to take the pawn, but then I might take. Bishop takes, and then move my bishop with tempo somewhere. Yeah, he attacks the rook. So I don't want to move my rook, so let's block. And I don't want to block the view of the queen on the d-pawn either, so I didn't want to play bishop to d7. So I'm blocking with the knight. Now he can take and mess up my pawns over here on the queen side. But that's okay, isn't it? So if I play pawn takes now, he plays knight takes. I guess I need to resolve the situation over here. Okay, so if he takes his pawn, I can still take back. And if he doesn't take the pawn, I will take his d-pawn and just eliminate his center, so I'll be the only one left with some center pawns. So I'm starting to feel a little bit optimistic about this position. I also have the idea of a6 to a5 and bishop to a6 hitting the queen in this direction. Let's see, but if I take d5 takes, c5 takes d4, he would take back with the knight, and that would hit my c-pawn. So I would need to pause and defend. Maybe with the queen. Queen c7. And then I could think of this a5, bishop a6 idea. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I could push ahead with a5 and threaten bishop a6 immediately, but I'm not sure that's so great. I mean, he can react to that. He doesn't have to allow his queen to be skewered. So now he took with the bishop. A bit risky, leaving his queen exposed. So I guess he's saying I don't have any great discovered attacks here. For example, if I play bishop to c5, what does he do? Bishop takes, rook takes queen, knight takes rook. It's 2 pieces for the queen, but it's a rook and a bishop for the queen is still good for me. And if he retreats, then I can play, and if the bishop goes back to block, then I can play d4, attacking the pinned piece. And can he block with anything else? He can block with the knight, but then I can take the bishop. So I think this is just winning. Oh, okay, he goes there, attacking my queen. Okay, so that's annoying. He took a piece. And if I take back, he's going to take my rook. That's not nice. Okay, if I take the queen, he takes the queen. And then my rook is under attack. So I have to retreat, and he retreats, and he's a piece up. So he won a piece. So I need to do something else. I need to defend the rook. And move the queen. So queen to d7. He has to move his queen. And this diagonal is not too hospitable. He could go there, he could go here, he could go here. And after those moves, then I could take his bishop. So at least I'm not down material. So that was quite a turn of affairs. Nice tactic. Bishop takes, knight, hitting my queen. He can just retreat the bishop.
Server announcement.
But then I can attack it with a pawn again. Yep. Yeah, that's why I need to calculate. I thought this tactic looked good, but I totally missed this idea of bishop takes f6. Pretty clever. Okay, so the queen just moved to the side, and so now I can take here. But he's material's even, but he's messed up the pawns around my king. So that tactic completely, well, backfired to some degree. I still have a good center and 2 bishops. So I guess I should not not worry too much about my position here. I'm not critical yet, and maybe with correct play I have some advantage, huh? Okay, so now he's still trying to take advantage of my weak back rank. I was toying with the idea of a5 once again, with the idea of bishop a6, because his rook is kind of trapped over there. Okay, so he's attacking. But he can always take with check and then bring his rook over. So what now? He's attacking f6. And let's bring my queen over to defend. Let's see. If I go there, though, he's got knight to h4. Knight h4. Okay, so queen f5, knight h4, queen g5, knight back, and I take his queen. I think this is still okay. And if he doesn't go knight h4, then I'm going to play my queen to g3 and just chase this queen away. Yeah, it's kind of what I was expecting. Now, how does the queen get out?
Check.
He can play... no, if he plays knight to f4, f5, I just take the knight. So he has to eventually trade off the queen. Okay, so I need to defend my g-pawn, I assume. Now let's start out with h6. I was debating between h6 and f6. I don't know if it makes any difference at all. His knights are not so good now. So maybe I am out of the woods here. Still have a5, bishop a6, forcing his knight or his rook out. Okay, well, it comes out voluntarily, going after this pawn. I think, where does this knight go to? I think I will harass this knight a bit. The idea is if I can trade it, then I can play rook to e2, getting into the 7th rank there and hitting his pawns here. So this position, it's the kind of position that should be good for the two bishops. Maybe I should think of just expanding slowly with my pawns. So he moved away, so he's allowing my rook into e2. I think I should take that chance. Oh, that's his idea. He's going to block my bishop. Okay, so let's retreat the bishop. Where do I want to go? I don't want to put it here where it's in a pin. I'm pinning the pawn. And I'm not sure if this is a very good square, so I'm going to back off here. And I didn't want to put it, well, I can't put it in front of that pawn anyway. Okay, so he's hitting my rook, and he's hitting this pawn, which is defended at least. Pretty good active defense. Okay, so rook here. He's got knight here, check. So rook here then, I guess. Attacking my bishop. And now I have two pawns under attack. But the bishop is defended, so let's place my bishop here. So if he takes my bishop, I will take his knight, the one on... if he takes my bishop, I will take the knight on d4. And then if he takes back, I will take the knight over here. Because if I take this knight, I'm losing a pawn. Now the only question is, I hope this knight doesn't have a good tempo move, but I didn't see it. So he can retreat the knight, and I will retreat my bishop. And I guess that's what he can do. He can. He could have played knight to a4, hitting this pawn, and then I could have retreated my bishop. Okay, so I need to take the knight. Let's see what kind of endgame this is. The bishops, my advantage of the bishops are gone, but he played well with his knights. So much for the bishop pair. Okay, let's get my king active. Now, if I defend the d pawn, I can play c4 and push his rook back. Although it doesn't actually push his rook back because he could go to a4. Well, depending on how I defend. I can go to a4, yeah, and hit this a pawn, which is kind of a weak pawn. Okay, king to d4. He plays pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes. Okay, maybe just here. Because I do want to play this move, c5. So he did go there. And then I can defend this way at least. So now both our rooks are kind of tied up. If I push, he takes, I take, and the rook takes. If I step forward, he pushes. I can't take, but I could take once and then step back. Oh, he's going forward there. That's interesting. Now I could push to to f4. He takes, I take. I would take with my king, actually, because that helps me put pressure on the f-pawn. Yeah, so he doesn't take, he just advances. So now what? I really have nothing, I guess. I have to sit still here. He can't advance with his king. He can advance with a pawn. I can't really move my rook, so I think this is one of my few moves. So he can't go forward with his king. I've covered all these squares with my pawns. But he can do that. And how is he planning to take here? Yeah, so by taking with the a pawn, he prevents me. If he took in with the c pawn, I would have a passed pawn here on the d file. So he took with the a pawn, and now nobody has a passed pawn. His king can step forward. And every time his king comes forward, I will drive it back.
Check.
I think this is another draw. I had a number of draws lately. Well, what can you do when they play well? Sometimes it's a draw. Okay, so he doesn't want the draw. He's trying for something different. Yes, I can step forward with my king. As long as his rook isn't
Check.
Here pinning me, I can step forward. Okay, so he's going to try and invade with his rook, huh? Well, I can't come forward, so which side do I want to be on? Let's stay towards the center. Yeah, so now what can I do? I can advance the a pawn. I could attack his rook, see where it's going. And his rook is going there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, so now he attacks my pawn. So I have to attack his pawns. It's one of those things where you gotta get active. Aha, he's attacking this pawn.
Check.
So I'm going to advance my f-pawn, force him to move his rook, and then take the... well, he didn't defend it. I'm going to take the g-pawn and attack his c and b pawns. I'm also attacking his rook, by the way. So he probably needs to play rook takes pawn. Then I take over here. And it will once again end in a draw. You have to play actively, though, sometimes when your opponent goes active, you need to go active too. Okay, so he's still trying to win, huh? Okay, I need to get in front of these pawns and also closer to my a pawn, I think. So his king, I need to keep his king away from the action here. Yeah, I guess I need to defend my pawn too.
Check.
This is all right, I think. One of those positions that should be drawn, although it's tricky. It's 2-on-1 and they're not exactly lined up. I need to keep the rook on and
Check.
try and actively defend. So if he plays a pawn forward,
Check.
yes, I will go here. Is that right? Attacking his rook. If he checks, rook takes, pawn takes, king takes, that should be drawn. If I go here attacking the pawn, he can check me here and I can come back.
Check. Check.
Oh no! Okay, he got me in a skewer. I guess I needed to go the other way. Okay, I'm going to resign.
Black resigns.
Okay, well, I will upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.